Okay, I'm gonna answer this as just as a way to as an excuse to promote Masih Alinejad. Okay.
Yes.
This is the last question. Which countries, regions in the world produce the fiercest feminists today? I don't know which one of them is going to produce the fiercest feminists. However, I am going to mention that Iran is producing. I don't know if they're the fiercest, but they are at least some of the fiercest feminists in the world right now, and
I think
rightfully so.
I
And Messi
think
Alinejad, guys, no, actually, I could objectively say the fiercest feminist in the world is Messi Alinejad. When they, so it would be it would have to be Iran. Okay, I know I'm sounding biased right now. I'm usually not. I'm usually trying to be very objective about these things. I'm not a nationalist in any way, but you have when you have you. I don't know if you guys saw in the news. Masih Alinejad had Iran's government send spies and operatives to kidnap her in New York to take her on a boat to Venezuela and then take her all the way, kidnap her all the way to Iran so that they could bring her to Iran and make a pariah out of her on national TV and then execute her by hanging. Okay, when you have one woman just because of the things that she's saying, an entire government, be so afraid of your activism and so desperate to eliminate you, to go beyond just suppressing you people within your borders, to actually risk and challenge, like especially right now when the Vienna talks are happening, they're so desperate to take you out that at this sensitive time they are like, forget international relationship, forget the international consequences, we need to take this woman out. The fact that you are this big of a threat to a government that they would have to resort to they feel like they have to resort to such tactics, that makes you the fiercest, most badass feminist that I know of. There might be others, okay, but it would have to be Masih Alinejad. So I would say Iran.
I think yes, and the feminists in Afghanistan, like the Afghani
Yes,
feminists, are
true.
so
Ooh.
brave, like so much braver than I could ever hope to be. It's actually almost hard for me to comprehend. Um, yeah.
So yeah, so people are saying, what's the name of that woman? Masih Alinejad, right?
Mhm.
And actually, you're right. Also, I actually agree. Masih Alinejad is awesome, but in general, I feel like Saudi feminists are the fiercest as a group. Yes, okay. I was just using. I wasn't trying to say any of them are better. I was just using it as an excuse to say, bring up Masih Alinejad. I mean, the feminists in Saudi Arabia, they do this. They do what they do after a lot of their colleagues have been arrested and tortured in prison, and they still continue to
Mhm.
do the work they do. So that is very impressive. And also, these people are braver than I would ever be in 100 lifetimes, right? So, also the woman that you mentioned in Afghanistan, um, one thing that came to my mind as you mentioned that was I was watching this interview with this Afghan feminist, and the reporter asked her, the Taliban is taking over. Are you going to stay in Afghanistan? And she was like, yes. And the reporter asked, when did you make the decision to stay in Afghanistan? And she said, I made that decision to stay in Afghanistan when I was being beaten up in the street in front of my daughter for my feminist activism by the Taliban. She was being beaten while she was being beaten up on the ground. She decided at that point that most people were like, I would think like your thought were like, I'm leaving this country, I'm never coming back. But when she was being beaten up in the street while she was being beaten up, her thought is like, I'm never leaving this country, because like she felt like this country needs help.
Hey guys, if you're a fan of Blasphemy and Sexy Callie, like me, then you need to be sure to subscribe to our newsletter, link in the description below. Because if you subscribe, we will send you a free copy of our Blasphemous Art ebook. And let me tell you, it is the tastiest blasphemy that you can find anywhere available today. And we are so generous with our blasphemy that we continue to send you more blasphemy every week. So make sure to subscribe, link in the description below.